everyone. Welcome to ITS 140. Okay, so today we are going to, as you know, this is the last week before finals. Your final exam is next Tuesday, I remind you. And today we are going to do start our presentations. Okay, so so that's really the plan. So what we're going to do is, you can volunteer to go first. Every group gets about 20 minutes, no more than that. And just remember, you should talk about your topic. You should do your presentation, your PowerPoint, and then do the demo of your code. And then there will be some time for questions, etc. Okay. So are there any questions before we get started? No questions. All right. So I've enabled screen sharing. So you'll have to share your screens. And who would like to go first? So somebody somebody needs to volunteer. I'd rather not just assign people at random.
We'll go first. Let me just pull up the presentation.
Okay, yeah, so great, thank you. So all you have to do, bring up the presentation, give me a few seconds to get your names down, and then you guys can start. Are you guys still there?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are presenting first?
Oh, it's me, Jack Morowski, Keelan, and David. That's
Okay.
the group that's going first.
Are your names in your slides?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so just share your screen, bring up your slides, and I'll get the names from there.
I think Keelan is gonna do it.
Okay.
I think he's just pulling up the slides.
Yeah, I'm pulling up the slides. Give me a second. Give me a second. Yes, I got it. Taking forever to load. Gmail. Oh, hurry up, hurry up. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. There. Just loading a little slow for some reason. Right. Now let's go. Doing this up. All right, wrong email. Wrong email. That's what- Mhm. Dun, dun, dun.
Start
Can
the
everybody hear me?
recording. Yeah, I'm gonna start the
All right.
recording now. So go ahead. So let me get your names. Okay, so this is punch-in system. Okay.
All right, now it's finally popped up on my screen. All right. Yeah, so our code is basically we created a punch-in system where, like, if you walk into any day work and you punch in and it say you're on time and it says your name, but we kind of added more things to fit into the program.
Okay.
All right. So the first thing that you're prompted with is to enter your name and PIN. So for this, we created two lists. One list has all the names of the people in the job, and the other list has all of their PINs. So if you're not in the system, it's gonna tell you to create a profile. And by doing this, use an if statement, and it will look through the list of people. And if you're not in there, then it's gonna ask you to create a profile along with the PIN.
Okay, so if you are not in the system, it will prompt you if you want to be entered. So if you're not in the system, you enter your name, and then once you enter your name, you're asked to enter a 4-digit PIN. Um, the loop would validate that your PIN is valid and not taken. So if it's too long of a PIN, if it's too short of a PIN, it wouldn't work. Or if the PIN was already taken, it wouldn't work. Um, and also, it'd do the same thing with your name. If your name was already taken, it wouldn't work. Um, but if you had the right name, if you entered the right proper name and then a proper PIN, it would work.
Next, then it's going to ask you, it's just going to tell you how much you make hourly. It is going to calculate how much you're going to earn on that day of work, depending on the hours that you put in, plus the time, how much money you make per hour. All right. That should be the end
That
of the
end of the
presentation.
slides.
So now I'm going to hope
So
we
I'm
have,
gonna stop sharing the screen.
yeah, and then I have the code, the demo.
Okay.
For everybody to see. All right. All right. Did everybody see it?
Yes.
All right. So this is our code. So we're gonna run it. Let's see how it is. Okay. So we're gonna hit run. All right. So the first thing gonna ask is gonna ask who you are. Now, if we said Bob, because Bob is already in the system, oops, it's gonna be like you're already in the system, and then it's gonna ask you his employee pay rate and etc. But if you're not in the system, oops, not that way. I'm gonna do it that way. Clear input. Gonna look for that input to clear. Loading the clear right. It should charge it. Probably should just went that way. Let's see. Oh, still not done yet. Doing the camera. We gotta hurry up, code. And not my internet stay.
Yeah, it's doing that bug when you run in, it just skips over to the next
Nah, I just tried to restart the output, but it's not like trusting saying it's ready. So
Try going back into the code, maybe.
maybe it started over. It's just like everything on my computer just running extra slow. Even the restart. Even the refresh. No way.
Yeah, just exit it and go back in.
I know. Maybe it's the screen share slowing me. Wait, I'm gonna stop the screen share and then come back. See if that's what's slowing me down. Okay, stop the screen share. Oh, all the days. To run so slow. Aggie internet problems. Come on. Why?
So what's going on with?
My computer just going the slowest.
Really?
Yes.
Do you guys
Just-
want to just try to fix it and we move on to another group and then come back to you?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Don't
that's
waste too much time.
Yeah, go do that. Go do that.
I have a
yeah,
lot
I
of.
think that's the best idea.
Right, just try to restart or something, get that going, come back with another. Okay, so Renee and George, I guess, will go next. All right, guys, that sound okay?
Yep, that's
Yep.
I haven't given you a grade yet until you finish the presentation. Okay, so make sure you don't think
Gotcha.
that you're done, right? Because I haven't even assigned a grade. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right. So George and Renee, I think they said they were next.
Just gonna restart this way.
Or any group, I don't know, whoever. Renee, George, are you there?
I'm here.
yeah. I'm requesting.
Mm-hmm.
So George, Howard, and Renee. Okay, let me get your names.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so go ahead, please get started.
Okay. For our ITS final project, we decided to put together a school bookstore coded in Python. Our goal was to show what books were available, quantity left, and book pricing information. We wanted to produce code that provided this information easily and efficiently. This information combines our knowledge learned from ITS 140.
Okay, for the coding, we organize relevant data into Python dictionaries, books, authors, and book IDs, and book stock. Search by book title, use if and else statement to check inventory. The title, price, author ID, and quantity return. If book is not available, return error message. Conclusion, successfully able to search information, return store inventory, and future coding iterations, add additional search and capabilities. Okay, now I'm going to the code. Okay, so this is our code. We have 7 books in here, along with the prices, the authors. I just made up some book IDs and book stock. And
How do you tile for dictionaries? By name of book?
yeah, by the name of the book right here. So if you put a title that's listed, I don't know what's doing it. Hold on. Not sure why it's doing that. It was just working fine.
Are you leaving a space after the name? I think you, yeah. I think you're adding a space,
Okay, let me see.
but don't add a space. No. There should be a space between the two words. You're adding a space. I think you were adding a space at the end after the S. So type hunger, space, games, no space, and hit enter. Did you hit enter?
Hold on, give me one.
That's working. Hold on. Why are you working on you want us to work on?
Somebody raised their hand. You can just speak.
Yeah.
Not sure why it's
I
not.
don't want to work. I should want to work.
It's not. Yeah, it's not working. It was working just fine. I tested it. Hold on.
Agreed.
You added a space in front of Hunger Games, I think. Be careful with and a space at the end. Don't add spaces either. You would need to do like a trim. When you do trim of the inputs, then you can get rid of those trailing spaces. But right now, just don't do it.
It's not. Hold on, give me one second.
All right, so work on it. Let's move on to the next group, and then when you guys are less nervous, come back, okay?
Okay.
All right. So who
Our
wants
code
to-
is working now.
So you guys are ready? Are you sure?
I have it. We're good.
So this is David, Jack, and
Kelon.
Kalon, right?
Yes.
Punch-in, Kelon, sorry. Punch-in system. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Share. All right. Oh, you seeing my screen?
Not yet. Okay, there we go.
All right. So now we're gonna run as if I'm not in the system. So I'm gonna put, they're gonna ask who you are. I'm gonna say Keylon. Keylon. Now, okay, they're gonna tell you you're not in the system of the list that's already in the file, which will be Bob, Ben, Ruby, and Alice. All right. So when you're gonna say yes, they're gonna ask you once again what's your name, because you're gonna begin to create a system file. So now I'm gonna say Keylon. All right. All right. So now they add the file. Now they're gonna ask me to make a 4-digit PIN. So 2125. All right. Confirm your PIN again. 2125. All right. So now you're fully in the system. Now they're gonna complete the punch in. So at this job, we are at, you can make the $7.50 an hour to $18.25. Let's say I make $9. $9 an hour. All right. How many hours are you gonna work today? We're gonna work 8 hours. And they're gonna tell you, all right, you're gonna make 72 hours today. Now we're in the program.
Do you want to try showing the loops?
Okay. So we're gonna run again. I'm gonna show you what happens when you mess up. All right. Clear output. Run on. Gonna restart. Wait till that thing says it's ready to go. Push it on someone output. Basically, it's gonna loop you until you give the correct code. Just want it to say ready to go. And maybe share that. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now I'm ready. All right, so it's gonna run. All right, let's say you pick Keylon. All right, Keylon. It's gonna say, all right, you're not in. They're gonna ask you, gonna say yes. Right. David, do you want to explain the loop why I do it, or?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, go ahead. So I click here. Keylon. All right. So now say, all right, David, I'm gonna
All right.
put. Go ahead.
So right now you're going to be prompted to put a 4-digit PIN. And if you put a PIN that's too short or too long, it's just going to keep you in the PIN. I mean, in the loop.
So if I do, it's gonna just keep us in there.
And if you put one of the same pins, it should still keep you in the loop.
And then if I
Until,
also put, let's say I put Bob's pin in, it's gonna say pin is taken, and then it's gonna revert you back, and then it's gonna read you as Bob, and so the cipher won't work. So then I'm gonna say pin is taken, but then it's gonna ask Bob, what you want? Then that's not gonna work. So let's restart that. And then if you put Bob, yeah, so you don't want to do. What else is in here? Oh, if you also put in the wrong pay rate, it's gonna not work at all. It's gonna actually stop the program, which I will show after it clears. I should actually just did it there. God dang it. Let's see, maybe before it resets. But let's say I did 20. Make it 20 an hour. It's just gonna stop because it's gonna be like you can't make 20 an hour. And then it's not even gonna finish making a program or clock in for Bob. Also, if you say no, it will also stop at the program. So run. Let's say you went log in. All right, you want to create a profile? No. It's just gonna be like, well, okay. Then it's gonna go right back to enter employee pay rate, and then it's not gonna enter anyway. It's gonna stop because it's gonna be like, you don't have a file to do it. You enter your own pay rate. Like it's like, it's simple. And I think it's the much of our code. Am I forgetting anything?
What happens when somebody is already in the system? What
Oh, okay. So let's say you're
just Bob,
already in the system.
yeah,
Gotcha.
Bob, let's say.
Let's finish. Let's go with Bob.
It should prompt that you're just already
You're-
in the system.
They-
It says you are in the system after you
Yep.
like if you type in Bob, that's what should
But
happen.
it doesn't calculate their pay for that day.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
It's also going to calculate Bob's pay for the day. But the only thing difference is if you're not in the system, it's not going to ask you to create one. It's just
Right.
going to clarify Bob in the system and it asks Bob for his PN that he already established.
All right. So
Finna
do
run.
that then.
So let's say, run it. Who are you? I'm Bob. All right, Bob. You're already in the system. All right. So Bob, what's your rate? All right. Bob makes $15 an hour. All right. How many hours you gonna work, Bob? Bob's gonna work 11 hours. Bob's gonna make $165. But since he was already in the system, he doesn't have to already create a profile.
Basically, if you're not in the system, it's just one extra step of creating a profile, and
Creating
then
one.
you'll get the pay rate, then you can enter your hours, and then you'll get your gross pay.
Right. Okay. All right. Let's go through the code then.
All right.
We've got functions, input validation, loops, if statements, lists. Did you write to files? Read and writing from files?
I was trying to export it, but I couldn't get it to work.
Okay,
So
so
I
he doesn't have reading and
No.
writing from files. Okay. Go back to the list part at the top. Let me just take a look at.
There you go.
All right. Okay. Are there any questions for this group? No questions? All right. Great job, guys. Thank you very much.
All right.
Hopping there. All right. So now.
Sorry for all the slow internet. Oh, my bad.
That's okay. All right. Great job. So next group, Renee and George, are you guys ready, or do you want us to move to another group?
We're ready.
You sure? Okay.
Yeah, it works for me. I just did it.
Fixed it. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so if you enter a name that's listed, it should do this. The price should come out, the author, the book ID, and the copies that are left. And then if you enter something, let's say that's not in store, just something random, it should say, wait, what? I don't know why it keeps doing that. So if you enter something random, it should say book not available. I'm not sure why it keeps doing that. It was just working fine.
Well, just work on it and let's move on to another group. We'll come back to you guys. Okay. Next group.
All right, yeah, we can go. Let me pull it up.
Okay, so for our project, we designed a program that runs similar, basically what like a calculator would do. And then we just kind of went through and explained every topic we learned in the semester and showed like how we tied it into our program. So for inputs and outputs, the input method reads a line from the input, converts it into a string, and returns it. And then that's the example that we used in our code. The output function converts the expressions you pass into a string before writing to the screen. There's the code example. And then for the arrays, an array is a special variable which can hold more than one value at a time. And then for loops, a loop is used for iterating over a sequence that is either a list, a tuple, a dictionary, a set, or a string. And then there's the example in the code.
Hello. I would take over for slide number 5. We got the GUI, the graphical user interface. That's basically the definition of it. User to interact with a computer programming using pointing a device, multiply a smaller picture on a computer screen. And here is down the example in the code as well. So let's move to the next slide. We got the decision structures. Definition of that structure: evaluate multiple expressions which provide a decision to be made. Example of that: what kind of calculation you want to make, calculate again, something else. If we move to the next one, we got variables. Definition of that: the variables is a Python program gives data to the computer for processing. Example encoding, the num1 and num2 operation, and etc. So slide number 8, basically here is our flow chart for the entire project and pseudocode after that. So you can go to the next and the next. Balin will take over for running the code.
All right, here's our pseudocode. And then have the code in idle, and I'm just going to run it in command prompt here. So I guess I'll just run it first. So you run it in command prompt. You can either do addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. So we can do multiplication first. Do 24 times 8,249. It's going to calculate it. It's going to give you an answer. It's going to ask you if you want to use the calculator again. You can either use yes or no. Let's do yes. It can be lowercase or uppercase. Let's do a division then. Do 128 divided by 12. Give us decimal, and then say no. It'll just quit. Should have printed out a results thing here. So I did 128 divided by 12, and we got the decimal on 24 times 8,249. We got the results here. It prints it out whenever you run the program. And then that's pretty much it.
All right, can you make that code a little bit bigger? Let's take a look at it.
You want me to like zoom in on it somehow?
No. Okay, leave it like that. All right, so you have functions, calculator, if statements, you have files, inputs and outputs. You have validation somewhere.
Validation.
Yeah, like if let's say when you were entering in the calculations a letter instead of a number, will it crash?
I think it'll. Let me see. Let me run it again. I'll just run it through here. So I don't think it'll crash. I think it'll still ask for the number, even though I typed D here, but it's not going to work. It's going to say wrong operator selected. Your choices are this, and please try again. And then you can just do yes or no. So it doesn't stop it when you put the
Where does
wrong.
it do that validation then?
It does it right here. It's an else. So if it doesn't get a slash, multiplication, subtraction, or addition, it'll print something else and then loop back up.
Scroll up a little. Where does it get the operation? Oh, at the top.
Yeah, right at the top.
Okay, and then, but does it validate the numbers? Number 1 and number 2. So go again. Do
Start it
plus.
again.
Yeah, do plus.
Plus?
Mhm.
Okay, I'll do plus
And then do A plus B.
8. No, it'll just crash.
Yeah, okay. Did you use lists? Arrays or lists?
No, we just use this input instead of a list.
Yeah, you don't have arrays. Okay, you have files, if statements. Do you have a for loop? I see a for loop in there somewhere. No for loops either. Okay. You have functions. Okay. All right. Any questions for this group, guys? No questions? All right. Thank you very much. Great. Great job. All right. Who is next? Who wants to go next? Guys, so I need a group to go next. I'm going to have to call one. Jacob Winters, you guys ready?
Lacey's in my group, and I believe she emailed you saying she wasn't going to be here today. You told her she could go on
Oh,
Thursday.
you're presenting on Thursday?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Jordan W.
Yeah, we're cool with going.
All right, go ahead.
All right, let me open up the presentation real quick. I forgot to open that up. All right, is it sharing correctly?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, just making sure. All right. I will let them start first. Unless I start. Well, I could read the title slide. This is a bookstore inventory by me, Victor, which I think is a really cool name, and Parker.
I'm not sure if Parker's here, so I'll just start. Our program's purpose, we create a bookstore inventory, allowing the user to add, remove, or view books already in the store inventory.
Oh, wait, this is you. My bad.
Yeah. Decision structures. This if statement states that if the user searches for the letter R, they can type the name of the book they'd like to remove or the number line. Iterative structures. Here we use a for loop to iterate through an object. In this example, this code tells the program to remove the input, then delete the book you chose.
We use arrays or lists in this, and we use them to write to and from the file. Yeah. Files and validation. We start off by opening it, of course, and as we go through it, we validate in case they try to input something they can't, and we do open the file at the very beginning and a few other times throughout the program. Input output strings, which I will demo. I will demo in a second here. This. Can you see the code?
Yeah.
All right, just making sure. So this would be the code. I'm gonna run it real quick. All right, so at the very beginning, capital R to remove a book from inventory, capital A to add a book, capital V to view it, or capital X to end the program. I will just start with like a random letter, not a valid input because of it being validated. So we'll start off by let me make sure it is the correct, okay, there we go. So let's view it. It's numbered 1 through 9 just to make it easier to visualize what the books would be called. After this, we can add actual book titles like To Kill a Mockingbird or the Bible, or Quran, any book. So that's the inventory of books we have. Let's say we want to remove a book. It numbers them out 1 through 9. Type the line number that we want. Let's say we want 4 gone. Press 4. And then let's view it again. 1, 2, 3, 4 is gone. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then let's say we want to add a book. Let's add 10. We will view it again. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, or 4 is still gone. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Adds it on right to the end. And let's add another book that has a real title like the Bible. We could view it again. Bible's right at the end. And then we are done. So we press X to end. It says end and it finishes the program.
Parker said his mic in chat. He said he can't get his mic to work, so that's why he wasn't able to talk.
Right. So what is the goal of this program?
It is meant for a bookstore to use to add. I mean, it's kind of like a catch-all. Any place to use that is using one sort of item to store them into a file and be able to access that file through this program to see what they have like in stock and to remove things from stock and to add things to the stock.
Right. But right now, it only has the name of the book, correct? Doesn't have other like price or quantity or things like that.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's take a look at the code. So you said you had reading and writing to files?
Yeah. We start by opening it right here. Throughout all of these, it will like right here, it closes the old file to make a new write file. Right here, it writes to the new file through a list in that loop.
Right. Where's the list?
It is current books right there. It is declared up here, right here.
Okay. So you have arrays, you have files. Do you have for loops and if statements?
Yeah,
I see
here's
them.
a while loop, if statements right here. There are for loops, like right here for X and F.
Did you do input validation?
Yeah. So when they first ask, hey, we want to remove a book from inventory, if you were to put anything that's not a valid statement, that is not a valid input.
So lists, for loops, if statements, files, input validation. All right. Sounds good. Any questions for this group?
Great job.
Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next group. Emily, is your group ready to go? Bill?
Yeah, I just did it again and it works fine. Hopefully it doesn't mess up. I don't know why when I screen share it doesn't work, but I'm doing it right now. It's working fine.
All right. So Renee and George, you're going to try again? Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, and this was I had erased the other one on accident, the files. So the file, it has like the name of the book, and then it has the type of genre they are. Okay, so okay, there you go. You should, when you enter a book that's listed, it should say the price, author, the ID, and the copies that are left. And then when you run it again, and let's say you enter something that's just some random letters or just a book title that's not there, it should. I don't know why it always does this.
Sorry about that. I was just trying to put in the code on my end.
Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. It's working fine. It's just
So you're still not finished, correct, with your presentation? As I said, maybe try again either at the end of today or maybe on Thursday, okay?
okay.
All right. Next group. Sebastian, is your group ready to go?
Me and Camden are here, but Ubaid isn't here. Oh, didn't know if you wanted us to go right now or Thursday.
Okay, is he going to present? Do you know?
I'm messaging him right now. He just started messaging us.
Okay,
See what he's.
find out. Let's see. So who hasn't gone? Tom Burkowski. ready to go? Camden, ready to go?
I'm a part of Ubaid's group.
Of who?
Of Ubaid's and Sebastian's.
Oh, okay. Who was that? Who spoke?
Camden.
Camden. Okay. Camden. Jacob.
I'm the group with Lacey in it. I mean, I could go.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I'd rather the groups present together. So I think there's, I've called on a couple of people that I don't have them marked. So Bill, Emily, and was it Jacob, I think. Guys, can you, Emily, are you there? Or Bill, are you there? I mean, they're showing to be in the session. They're not answering. All right.
Okay, did that part right. Now let's see the other. There you go. It worked. Okay, so as you've seen, when you enter the correct the name, it shows the book title, the author, the book ID, the price, and how many like book stock is left. And when you enter something that's incorrect, like the wrong title or something that's not there, it should say book not available. Please check with another bookstore. And this shows right there the name of the books and the genre they fall under. And that's it. It finally worked.
All right, so you have functions. Do you read and write from books or from files?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a list or array?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty sure these are.
You have dictionaries, okay. If statements, for loops.
If statement. I'm not sure if for loops.
No for loops.
No, just if statements.
Okay. Input validation.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, isn't it? When like this input here and then it says if not, enter this.
Sort of, I guess. Yeah. All right, so you have files, you have dictionaries or lists, you have if statements, functions, validation. All right, that's fine. You didn't have for loops, that's the only thing. Right?
Yeah.
All right, great job. Thank you very much. Do you guys have any questions for this group? All right, so then that means we have just 3 groups left for Thursday. Okay, guys? 3 groups left for Thursday. All right, so that is it for today. I don't